thermodynamic functions of our thermal and statistical physics course. So let us see what are thermodynamic functions. Okay, so thermodynamic functions or potential are functions which are used to represent the state of a system. Basically, we discuss four fundamental functions. And what is the speciality of these thermodynamic potential or functions is that they represent work. And again, they can be expressed in differential form, which is very helpful in doing calculations. So basically, we will be discussing four the thermodynamic potentials or functions, which is internal energy, enthalpy, Helmholtz free energy, and Gibbs free energy. So let us quickly go to our first function, which is the internal energy. Internal energy we know is a sum total of kinetic and potential energy, can be expressed as a function of all these parameters. But basically what we will say, we will express in terms of first law. According to the first law of thermodynamics, del Q is equal to du plus pdv, where which is the du is the internal energy, pdv is the work done. Again, del Q can be written as TdS, because del Q by T is equal to ds, where S is the entropy. So instead of del Q, express TdS. And I hope you know why I am writing a function like this for Q, because it is an inexact differential. That means it depends on the path. So once you get the expression du is equal to pds minus pdv. This can be used in many other situations also. Now let us go to our second function, which is enthalpy. Now what is enthalpy? Enthalpy is expressed as H is equal to, this is enthalpy. Enthalpy is represented as H is equal to U plus VD. Once you do the differential, dH is equal to du plus pdv plus vdp. Now du plus pdv is delta Q plus pdp. If you divide by dt, you will get this expression. For an isobaric process, that is isobaric process means where P is equal to, that is the pressure is equal to constant, dou H by dou Tp is equal to del Q by dou Tp, which is equal to specific heat at constant pressure. So specific heat at constant pressure is the rate of change of enthalpy at constant pressure. It can be defined in that way also. Now here, how this expression comes out? See, when pressure is constant, this term goes to 0. So therefore, we get this term. That is enthalpy at rate of change of enthalpy at constant pressure is actually rate of change of del Q at constant pressure, which is Cp. Let us take one more application, let us say, of enthalpy, that is dH is equal to du plus pdv plus vdp. What is at constant pressure du plus pdvp is equal to, this will go to 0 at constant pressure, which is del Qp. Now what is del Qp? Del Qp. So there dH is equal to del Qp. So dH, when you do an integration, is I initial. So I to F dH is equal to del Q. So HF minus HI is equal to Q. This is a very important result, that is rate of change in enthalpy during an isobaric process is equal to the heat transferred. So that means heat transferred can be expressed in terms of enthalpy also. Initial and final enthalpy will give you the heat transferred. Now let us look for another example, another application of enthalpy, and dH is equal to dQ plus vdP. For an adiabatic process, del Q is equal to 0. We know in an adiabatic process there is no heat exchange. So rate of change del Q is equal to 0. So dH is equal to vdP. This I have actually, we have not written du plus pdv plus vdp. We have directly written del Q because that we have done before. Okay, now this is also an important thing. dH is equal to vdp. pdv is the work done, but vdp is used for many practical applications where the pressure is varying. Is it understandable? So I hope it is clear. Now we will go for the last application in case of throttling process. What is a throttling process? A throttling process is a process where you want to change the pressure from high to low, either by using a valve or by using a capillary tube. So there the heat exchanged will be 0. So our first law of thermodynamics becomes Q is equal to du plus PdV, work done. It will be Uf minus Ui plus Wf minus I. So where the heat exchanged is 0, so you write 0 is equal to Uf minus Ui plus PVF minus PIVI, because we know work done is PdV. So the initial and the final values will be PF VF minus PIVI, and once you do that, you will get Uf plus PF VF is equal to Ui plus Vi. So HF is equal to HI. What is that? H is the enthalpy. That is in case of a throttling process. In throttling process, what happens? A high pressure subject, if you are using a valve or if you are using a capillary, that is you are using a small tube, it is converted to, the fluid is converted to low pressure. It's an application so that you can get a low pressure from this. So that process, that the heat changed, heat is 0, very less, that means we will take it as 0. In such a case, the change in enthalpy, there is no change in enthalpy, that is throttling process suffers no change in enthalpy, and the reason is because when you are taking Q is equal to 0, you are expressing in terms of Uf minus Ui plus omega F minus omega, that is PdV, that is I to F. It will be Wf minus Wi. So that part is clear. Let us go to the third Helmholtz function, third thermodynamic function, which is known as the Helmholtz function. This third and fourth functions actually are represented as the useful work done by a system. So that means some work will go as heat, but this is the useful work. Helmholtz, sometimes called Helmholtz free energy and Gibbs free energy. So the expression is F is equal to U minus Ts. In some books they write A is equal to U minus Tx. Both are okay. So dF will be du minus Tds minus SdT. For an isothermal process, this will go to 0. dt is equal to 0. So our dF is equal to du minus Tds. So dF is equal to, you can rewrite it as, what is du? Du can be written as del Q minus du. So this can be, Tds is del Q. So du minus del Q, you rewrite it such that is equal to delta omega. So for a reversible isothermal process, dF is integration dF I to F. If you take I to F and then do the analysis, you will get Fi minus F of T is equal to Ui minus Uf minus T Si minus Sf. So that is, so from Clausius inequality we know Tds is greater than or equal to del Q. So Tds is equal to del W plus du, and this expression comes. So because we are talking about a reversible process, we will write it as, will not write as an equality, we will write as an equality. And finally the work done in a reversible isothermal process will come out to be Fi minus F of T, which is the change in the Helmholtz function. So work done in a reversible isothermal process is actually the change in the Helmholtz function. So if a change in Helmholtz function is given, then you can use it to find out the work done in a reversible isothermal process. Now actually, as I told you, this is a measure of to do work. It is related to free energy. Now the last one, and still not the least as we say, is the Gibbs free energy or the Gibbs function. So Gibbs free energy is given by the expression G is equal to U minus Ts plus Pv. What is U minus Ts? Is the Helmholtz energy, F plus Pv. And then you can also write it as this, you can also write it as H minus Ts. See, U plus Pv is enthalpy minus Ts. You can write it in either ways. U minus Ts gives free energy, this is enthalpy. In any way you do the dG, you will get minus SdT plus VdP. For an isothermal process, dG with constant temperature is equal to VdP. Again, dGpt is equal to 0. That is, Gibbs function, no change. Gibbs function of the system at constant temperature and pressure. So there is no change in Gibbs function. For an electrochemical potential, if a battery is involved, there will be an additional term 2 minus SDT plus VDP, that is zeta delta Z. So here delta W, the work will be dG is equal to zeta delta Z. Again, same thing can be applied for magnetism also. You will use the contribution. Gibbs function is a universal thing. Always thermodynamic systems or gaseous systems need not be applied. An electrochemical cell may be applied. A magnetic system applied. So these terms will vary. It can be then HDM or something like that. So there, and then you can do the Gibbs analysis. Now finally, from Gibbs free energy we get dou G by dou T P is equal to minus S, dou G by dou P T is equal to V, dou F by dou T V is equal to minus S, dou F by V is equal to minus V. So from both these free energies you will get the basic quantities like volume, pressure, entropy, etc. So there are all these functions are thermodynamic functions, that is the internal energy, enthalpy, Helmholtz free energy, Gibbs free energy. They can be expressed in different forms. So starting from first and second law of thermodynamics and these functions, you can express the state of a function and you can also express them in differential form, which is the highlight of the story. So that's it. So that is the thermodynamic state of a system can be completely represented in terms of thermodynamic coordinates or state variables, and state variables represent, and these quantities are also made of state variables, and the differentials will give you also the state variables back. So that's it. Thank you.